what ended up happening was we would share the turntables and stuff. So then we just decided to do our own house parties type of thing. You know what I mean? When that came along, I've always kind of been pretty driven in whatever I was doing. But I think for some reason the artistic aspect of what I'm involved with was where I was what I was really driven to kind of like develop. I never knew I was creative to a certain extent. I knew I had some level of talent, but there was nobody really out there to encourage it, really, especially in the West Coast. Yeah. So I was like, well, you know, I think I'm having a good time with this. You know what I mean? I think we can develop into something, and it just really took my focus. You know what I mean? So I started collecting records, spinning parties, and at that time I was like, well, I wasn't getting a lot of time. You know, they were giving DJs at that time about 15 minutes of fame. It was like a whole line before.
What records did you start your collection with?
There was this one, the first record I ever bought was called Matrix. It was Venture into Matrix, and it was a techno track. It was, I think I bought it like in '91. The first piece of music that I ever bought as a kid was actually a cassette tape, and it was Def Leppard's Pyromania. And it's funny because that same day that I got that, I was with my pops, and I came back home, and my mom had taken my brother out, you know what I mean? And they had bought the Pyromania record. So like when I came up to my brother, I was like, hey, man, you know what, I just got a new tape. He's like, I just got a new record. And we're like, what is it? And it was fucking Pyromania. You know, we're tripping, you know? We were kids at that time. Crazy. But that was my first record that I ever collected. And the reason I think the reason why I held off in collecting for so long was, first of all, I was broke. I didn't really have a lot of cash. And second of all, I didn't think I had really like found my niche within the music, you know what I mean? But the cats, they were collecting 70s, they were collecting 80s, they were collecting some hip house, you know, a variety of music. And we actually used to listen to, this is going to be kind of funny to say just because of my background, where I really got my influence, which is the underground. But we were listening to Richard Hump Division's set on the radio, like about 3 in the morning. And he would have like certain sets planned out for about an hour. And he played like a variety of things, funk, hip hop, 70s type stuff. And we would mimic them. We would get all the records that he played, and we would just copy exactly what he did.
Oh, a lot of artists learn by tracing and stuff like that. You got to learn by what somebody else does before you develop your own style and shit.
Later to find out that he was producing everything electronically. He wasn't doing anything live, which was the catch. Because everything he did, we did it live. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like, when I found that out, I was like, whoa, what a sham. You know what I mean? Not in a sense, I guess I give him like credit because now he's doing the production aspect of it. You know what I mean? I didn't understand that at the time.
That's not the same as calling yourself a DJ.
But, you know, but he's earned his respect because he's worked hard and developed, you know, and I think that's, as a kid, I didn't know that, you know what I mean? But it was nice to be able to find out that I had that ability, you know what I mean? I'll see you guys in a bit. It was nice to find out that I had that ability. And from then on, I just kept pushing. I started doing my own parties. Primarily, I'd say it was a combination. It was financial, and it was also for the art. It was for what I was starting to grow into. And it was something that I felt like I was a part of, you know what I mean? From that, I gradually started going into the underground because I got so heavily involved. I would do the backyard parties, the house parties, and then from there, as natural, everyone wants to know, well, where's the after party type of thing, you know? And that's where I started fucking venturing into, you know, the after hours. And my first after hours gig was Anna's Playhouse. It was dead center downtown of Los Angeles. Fabian gave me my first break as far as spinning out there, along with Anna, who was doing the event. And I was grateful till this day for that, you know what I mean? Because my music was very much respected for it.
So when you go to do a performance, you have in mind what you're going to play beforehand, or you just mix it when you get there based off of what you already
I think for a long time, I kind of like, I winged it a lot, you know what I mean, just to fun. In Los Angeles, I think you can wing it a lot, just because people are familiar with production, the producers, the remixers, the DJs, they kind of know their tracks, so they know what to expect from you. Especially if they've been going out to your parties, they know what they're looking forward to, and for you it allows you to be consistent on that level. Being in Iowa has been a roller coaster, just because the main music out here is commercial, you know what I mean? It is top 40, you know what I mean? And having, I would say before I came to the Midwest, I had already 12 years under my belt. And to kind of like step back, I think I was resistant to that because I was already used to a certain structure of how things are done or what kind of music I wanted to play. So there was a certain indignation to play what I wanted to play.
Right.
However, as the years passed, I found out that yes, I do have, because I make the opportunities, I make the gigs, I'm heavily involved in it, I can kind of like present what I want to do,
yeah.
But at the same time, I have to convert the listeners. I have to somewhat educate them.
You have to pay attention to what the crowd's actually digging and shit, right?
Yeah.
You have to pay attention to what's going on, and like if something's too fast, you gotta switch up or.
Yep. And out here, I would say the attention span when it comes to electronic music is really quick. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, this is too long. Or, you know what I mean? I'm not into this type of thing. In part, it's because not a lot of people know the music, and in another part because they're used to another type of music.
There's a lot less dance clubs out here too.
But this event, I think, is what allows that opportunity, or it allows that marriage between the two, where artists can kind of like give themselves, and at the same time, they're a little bit more open for new stock. Yeah, that's where we kind of take advantage. And in the 5 years that I've been here, I've learned how to be a little bit more flexible with the way I spin. And I think I just use my experience and my versatility. I kind of like apply it. I take it as an advantage or preparation. You know what I mean? So back to your original question, which was, do I wing it or don't I wing it? For this particular event, I think this is the first year in Iowa where I actually had a solid set placed, because I felt that I had a sound that wasn't going to be explored by other DJs.
Right.
And hopefully, you know, you've been along with me through the ride, and I think you've heard that. You know what I mean? We may lose a couple of people here and there, but at the same time, I feel like I'm still sticking true to my art form. You know what I mean?
You're a lot more mellow than a lot of the other guys.
I can be mellow, but I can also be aggressive. You know what I mean? And it's just, I think it's the schedule, when you're in schedule for a particular time or with a certain stage or a certain type of musical format, where you start kind of like knowing exactly what you're going to drop. I had a 10 o'clock spot tonight, which I knew I had to kind of set the pace for the guys that were going to come on in. You know what I mean? So for me, it was more like set the pace for them, keep people interested, but at the same time have a good amount of energy. It's like I tell a lot of people out here, you can't play drum and bass everywhere you go. You're not going to drop it in a cafe unless it's specifically catering to that. You know what I mean?
Ask for here.
So it's kind of like you have to kind of gauge it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
I've heard some drum and bass around tonight, but not a whole lot.
I'd say it's probably my perspective. I'm not saying that that's like concrete or anything like that, but I think that's the practice that I kind of like apply in whatever it is that I do.